Welcome to First Time Caregiver Confessions. I'm your host, Cami. This is a space for every first time caregiver trying to figure it all out, from managing the overwhelm to finding little moments of calm in the chaos. Each week, we'll unpack real stories, practical tips, real confessions, and a few honest laughs about what it's really like to step into caregiving for the first time. So take a deep breath. You're in good company. Let's get into today's confession. So today I wanted to talk about finding support, specifically finding support without judgment. Because as a caregiver, I know not so much myself, but I know my sister Dee, she has encountered in this stage and chapter in her life. It's very unfortunate that people who you think are your friends or they have been through things with you and supported you in so many aspects of your life, and then when you become a caregiver and it consumes all of your time, there is a lack of empathy and a lack of understanding that some friends just can't wrap their heads around because they, I don't want to use the word selfish, but they don't have the capacity to understand the monumental taxing toll and consuming energy, time, and resources it takes to care for someone else. And, sometimes people who you think they are friends, they can be, I don't know, there's two types of friends. Let me know if you can relate to this. Like, I have friends, we can chit chat, catch up, drop off the face of the earth, pick up 2 years later, right back where we left off. Like, those are mostly the type of friends I have. On the other hand, there are those type of friends that are more, I don't want to say needy, but they require more. Like, they want more things on their terms. Like, if when I reach out to you, I need you to be able to reach me back or text me back. And that's fine and that's valid. However, there needs to be, I think, an understanding, or there should be an understanding as an adult that when you're caring for a whole human, you're not going to be able to respond, okay, in 5 minutes or an hour. You know what I mean? I guess I'm trying to say I wish some people would understand the monumental toll and gravity of what it means to be a caregiver, and they just don't. But maybe it's just one of those things that they have no idea and are just absolutely clueless until it will happen to them. But anyway, as a caregiver, finding support is so important, and why you need a caregiver community. And number one reason is you cannot do this all alone by yourself. You just can't. You need access to resources, respite care, or other friends or family members that can help, and especially those that are single, only children. You guys really need help too. Or maybe you're in a situation where you have family members, a lot of family members, but no one's helping except only one person. So, this episode, I just wanted to share some ideas, some brief ideas that would help you in your caregiving journey to give yourself a break and some support. So, the first thing I would try is social. So, social media, like there's Facebook groups, TikTok creators you can follow sharing their stories and resources, other avenues in social media, I'm sure Instagram as well. But also, number two, local community or town senior groups. So for in my town, if you look, and I'm in the United States, so if you look state by state, your county should have a county resource for senior community activities or senior groups and resources. And within that community or city or town website, they have access to senior resources, including respite care. I hope I'm saying that right. But respite care to give caregivers a break. They have access to senior or daycare centers that may be available in your area where you can I think most of them have a fee, maybe some don't, but they may or may not have a small fee, but you can have your senior loved one taken as long as they're able to be semi independent, I think. Because I don't think some of these caregiving groups, if your senior is bedridden, that's not going to work. But if they can otherwise, maybe if they have a walker or cane and can get up and move around on their own, it would work. There are senior daycare centers where you can have them either drop them off, or some senior centers have transportation available. They'll come to your home, pick up your senior, and then drop them off in the afternoon. And I know we looked into this for we're in the north in the states, and the one of the senior daycare adult centers we found had seniors from picked them up like 8 in the morning. Their activities started around 9 and they finished about 1:30 when dropped them off about 2 o'clock. Unfortunately for my father, he was not interested in that, although we did try to have him, get fully immersed right away. He just wasn't having it. But it was wonderful because it was reasonably priced. There was so much social interaction, like a diverse population at the senior center. Plenty of activities. They had raffles, games. One of the things they expressed to us, they also would feed them breakfast and lunch and snack. The center we went to, they also offered showers, gym equipment, in addition to like the tables and board games and community and social activities. So it's definitely a good option for those, especially if you're similar to us, where we don't have the ability to afford like full-time nursing care or full-time care on super expensive in terms of resources. But that's just another option, a great option, because and I think they'll also give medication as well, as long as you have it listed out. But for the price that was reasonable, I think every location varies, but that's a lot of different things, and they get the community aspect of socializing with seniors, and as a caregiver you get a break. Imagine if you were able to get a break from like 8-9 in the morning until 2. Hello, that's like 4 or 5 6 hours of peace. Oh my goodness, I would love that. Okay, another resource you can use, a third resource, is something like care.com. That's what my sister and I happen to use to get at home care. I think it's care.com. There's other similar at home services you can Google and look online. But yeah, you can pay an hourly fee for some of these caregivers, or professionals. Some of them are like ex-nurses, or some people are just have certified to come to do basic things like coming to the home, preparing meals, giving medications, cleaning up the immediate area wherever the patient is, keeping them clean or bathed, helping with showering, dressing, preparing foods like sandwiches or soups or lunch or whatnot, administering medication, attending, in chaperoning, going to appointments if needed. It just kind of varies, but that is an option, and another affordable option if you can pay hourly versus something more exorbitant. And last but not least, check in with, if you have siblings, multi sibling household, check with your friends or best friend, or particularly your family members, and work out a plan. Like, everyone divvy up their responsibilities to lighten the load, so it's not all load on one person. Now, I do realize that not all families work and operate in a non-toxic manner, because I hear more stories than not that like there's one sibling that's taking the brunt of everything and the other ones are just not to be found. And I really feel for those that are like alone in this. but I don't want you to feel like it's all on you. Please look into these resources I mentioned. And I'm only going by what resources we have found. If you guys, this resonated with you, and if you're a caregiver and you found other additional resources I haven't even mentioned, I would love for you to leave a comment and share your feedback, because we're figuring this out as we go. But then last but not least, I should mention podcasts like this one or other podcasts. I would definitely check out other podcasts that talk about caregiving or tips from nurses or RNs or professionals that they can share their tips and tricks too. I'm sure they can give even more resources than what I've shared. But I hope sharing some of these experiences and examples helped you find support without judgment. And thank you so much for listening to First Time Caregiver Confessions. If today's episode helped you feel seen and supported, please take a moment to follow the show and share it with another caregiver who could use a little bit of encouragement. Remember, you can also connect with me on the website linked in the description or wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, to keep the conversation going. Until next time, guys, take care of yourself and remember, you're doing better than you think.